Hey everybody, it's Peter from Brantford Kia. Welcome to our live video series. It is the day after Canada Day, and of course we are Canadian, so we celebrated a day off yesterday, and today we are live, and we are live with a car that you guys have been asking for. This is a car that you guys like a lot, and one of our customers just bought one, so it just came here. So there's a bit of a story to this car. We'll talk about it, but before we get too deep into the process, if you're not joining us live, let me show you exactly how to do that. So we'll flip around here. Every single weekday that's not a holiday, we go live on YouTube. So you're probably watching this on YouTube already as it is, but in case you're not, you just go to YouTube, search for Brantford Kia. That's our logo right there. If you go to Brantford Kia, search up at the top right there for Brantford Kia, you will find us. If you refresh the page exactly at 2 o'clock, which is what we're doing right now, you will see sometimes a video right here. In this case, you won't. So we're gonna go to videos, the videos tab right here. And on that videos tab, you will see our live videos. So today, we are doing the Kia Forte GT. No ad, no nothing, perfect, here we go. All right, I do not have Teddy with me today. I ran in here just seconds ago to get this done. We had a busy morning and busy early afternoon as well. So no Teddy in the trunk, but we could go get him if we had to. We do have Kevin. Kevin's helping us today. We could maybe throw Kevin in the trunk. Those of you looking, wondering who Kevin is, Kevin and I hang out a lot together. He makes my video bay look great, and I just work here. So there we go. Let me get started. So Teddy in the trunk, I should mention that as well. Teddy is my trunk measurement tool. If you're just joining us and you've never been with us before, I could go get him. He's within reach. He's just not in the building, and I literally just got this car in. So Tim, my general manager, is not in today. He'll be a little disappointed this car is not up to his cleanliness standards, but some friends of ours bought this car. Some friends of mine bought this car, friends of the dealership as well, and I promised them as soon as it came in I would go live with it, and they would like to take it home as soon as possible. So this was my chance. Those of you looking to tune in tomorrow, there is a chance we'll have the Kia Niro PHEV. I have an email saying if it can come tomorrow or not. I just haven't read it yet, so we'll have to read that after the video. But that's what our plan is for today and tomorrow. And in the meantime, we're going to take a look at this vehicle. So many of you may remember that I did a video probably about 2 weeks ago on basically the twin of this car. Now I say twin, but really they were born in very different places, so we'll talk about that. But that twin was the Forte 5 GT. The 5 GT has a roofline that goes a little bit further back and cuts off there, and it is a hatchback. I mentioned as that as being one of the ultimate economy cars, and I think just the clickbaity title allowed that video to do very well. This is the same car, but very different. It is not the hatchback, so it's just the Forte GT instead of the Forte 5 GT, and they're actually made in different places. This one is made in Mexico, so it's made in North America. The Forte 5 is made in Korea, and that explains why some things are different, and we'll talk about some of those differences in this car. Little things that you would expect to be the same on two basically identical cars are actually quite a bit different. So we're gonna talk about that. Last thing I'm going to talk about before we dive in, if at any point I've earned your like, if you like that I'm doing these videos, if you like something in the car, if you like Kevin over there who's doing a great job, do me a favor, hit the like on the video. That just tells my bosses that we're engaging with our audience and they can see what we're doing, and it's just helpful for us, and it's a nice thing to do. If I'm going to spend a half an hour with you, a little like is all I need back. But again, if there's something that you like about the car, that also helps me sort of see something that intrigues you, or you can just comment. If you are commenting, I will get to your comments. I always check the comments. We've got some regulars on already. We'll touch on your comments a number of times throughout this video, probably a little bit more often than regular, just because my preparation is not where I want it to be right now. So we'll just go with, you guys can self-guide this video a little bit, things that you want to see. I will give you the basic overview, and then we'll go from there. So what are we looking at? Forte 5 GT. A lot of people called this car the baby stinger. Now I prefer to call the Forte 5 the baby stinger because it's a hatchback, and so is this, the Forte 5, which of course is not available in the States. So the American publications tended to call this car the baby stinger. It definitely has some performance intentions. It is very good that way. And it is not just like some of the other manufacturers do. It's not just a little bit bigger wheels, and we're gonna call it our sport model. It is a true sports model. So we'll talk about some of those differences. First of all, under the hood, in this one's a 1.6 liter turbo engine, makes 201 horsepower, 195 foot-pounds of torque. And all of that torque is available right around 1,450, under 1,500 RPM, right on through most of the rev range. So you get a lot of torque, low in the rev range, and it's that turbo model, which also is great for fuel efficiency. We're going to talk about fuel efficiency in a minute. The regular car has a 2-liter engine, and it makes much less horsepower, 147 horsepower. Also has a different transmission than the Forte sedan. This one has a 7-speed dual clutch transmission. So that is that instant shifting, quick shifting transmission. Very good for sports. Also, like I said, happens to be very good for economy. A lot of these higher end sports cars are using these dual clutch type transmissions to get that instant shift capability. It is faster than your manual transmission. It is more efficient than your manual transmission. And that's why, at least in Canada, we don't have a manual transmission. I mentioned this the other day. There are more, this is a US stat, but I think it holds true for most of Canada, maybe not Quebec, but actually probably Quebec as well. There are more electric cars being sold right now than there are manual transmission cars being sold when it comes to new vehicle sales. So if you don't like that this doesn't have a manual, I'm with you, I hear you. Problem is, even though we like manual, none of us buy them, even if they're available. So Kia Canada does not offer us a manual. We talked to Michael Kopke about that. Who's the head of marketing. We did an interview with him probably about a year ago now, and maybe a little bit less than a year ago. And we talked about manual transmissions. And again, he's a manual transmission fan as well, but if we're not going to buy them, we're not going to make dealers carry them. We do have Fortes and manual transmissions, but they're the base models. And that's basically the reason for that is people will still buy base model manuals. They don't tend to buy sport model manuals. And that's what Porsche's figured out, what BMW's figured out, and that's what Kia has also figured out. All these performance models, people actually want the faster car. All right, so a couple other little differences here. You guys always get frustrated with the antenna on the Forte 5 GT. You want a shark fin antenna. Well, if you want a shark fin antenna, you have a shark fin antenna right here on this Forte GT instead of Forte 5. Some of the reasons for that, this one has a Harman Kardon stereo system, and we'll talk about that, and it has a subwoofer in the trunk, which you cannot get on the regular Forte 5. One cool thing, I believe I've set it up, but I can't promise you that it's gonna work. I'm gonna show you what the key looks like right now first. Here's what our key looks like on this is a modern Kia key. You know what, I'm gonna walk over to the sunlight just so I can get a little more natural light on this key. You know, it's all about getting the shot for you guys here. All right, there is what the key looks like. Nice looking key, good texture to it, got a nice little logo there. Over here, you have all the buttons on the side now. Now, the reason I like this is a couple people talked about some of the buttons here being a little bit easier to hit in the pocket, and that's where they used to have them. Now they have them here. The real reason I like this key is the Kia Stinger has almost an identical key, but they have a round lock button here, and this one is a squared off button. This is what we're doing with all of our cars, but it started on the Kia Stinger, and it just feels great in your hand. That being said, you don't really need to take it out of your hand. So what was I talking about the key for when I was near the trunk? Well, I believe the smart trunk was set up. So what that means is when we talk about these smart keys, you can leave them in your pocket. I could hit this button right now. I could hold that button right there and pop the trunk. If it's set up, and I think it might be because it beeped at me once, as I approach the car right now with the key in my pocket, I'm just gonna come close. You're gonna watch the lights. They're blinking 3 times in 5 seconds, and the trunk popped itself. So what I like about that is, a lot of our competitors' cars, you have to wave your foot underneath here. If you're like me, you don't want to stand at 1 foot in the snow and ice and wave your foot underneath the car when you're holding a bunch of luggage, because that's the reason you would need your trunk to open anyways. This one here is a system that works just by approaching the car. You can turn that system on or off. You don't have to use it if you don't want, but it's a super smart system, and it's better than waving your foot underneath the car. Hey, Tim just joined in. So Tim, now that you're watching, Tim is my general manager. I gotta be honest, Tim, you're gonna be a little disappointed in the cleanliness of this car, but I want you to know, I did put tire shine on just to make you happy. So the tire shine's on, but if you could just avoid looking at the rest of the car, that'd be great. I mentioned that this car is gonna be delivered any minute, as soon as we can anyways. While I'm looking at the front wheels here, and Tim's fuming and deciding what he's gonna write to me, I will tell you that when we talk about performance, this one has larger front brakes. So larger front brakes, again, part of that added performance. And yeah, somebody just pointed out this smart trunk. Again, you can't get that on the Forte 5 because on a hatchback you would need a powered tailgate. Something like the Kia Stinger or several of our SUVs like the Sportage and the Sorento and the Telluride, they have powered tailgates, but the Forte 5 does not. So again, that self-opening tailgate there or trunk on this car, you can get that on this car. You can't get that on the Forte 5. So again, little comparisons there. I'm still a fan. I'm going to be real honest. Let's throw my biases out there. I'm still a fan of the hatchback over this. I just wish the hatchback had a couple features that this car has. And we're going to talk about those as we jump inside. I didn't show you really trunk space. Anybody want to see Teddy? Let's get Teddy. One thing I'm going to show you as well. this here, again, there's that dirt that Tim's gonna be thrilled about. Right there is our backup camera, and underneath here is a button to open that trunk. So you can open that button using the trunk on this trim line. Let's go get Teddy and throw him in here because I want to show you a couple things. 1 second. This is my office in case anybody wants to know. There's my mess, and there's Teddy over there. We're gonna grab him. We'll also grab this right here. This is how to reach me on Instagram. There we go. Making for great video right now. We'll shut the door so nobody walks in on us. The reason I want to show Teddy in the trunk is because Teddy is about 5 feet tall, give or take. I think that's what we decided. He's having a rough day. Anyways, we're going to throw him in the trunk. I want to show you some of the benefits of this trunk space. And again, I would have had this done before, but we've had a very busy day. And so I always show Teddy, and what I do is I put the belly of Teddy against the back seats. And in a lot of our SUVs, if you look at the trunk space here, I've got the edge of the trunk here. If I look straight down, I can't even see Teddy. He's way back in that way from the trunk. So you have a lot of floor space with Teddy out. Did someone take Teddy out partying? Teddy brought the party here. That's a good question. Can't believe it. So Wade and Rebecca is the people that are buying this car, and Tim's upset with me because he can't believe I'm showing it dirty. Tim, it was get it in now or it's going to be delivered, and I'd have to deliver it with, show the video with them in the car. Anyways, one of the things I like about the trunk right now in these sedans that people forget is when you're buying groceries or something like that, a sedan is still going to have a longer floor than many of our SUVs. So if you're looking for trunk space, yes, cargo volume, the Forte 5 or the, say, the Kia Seltos is going to have more cargo volume. But as far as the length of the floor, you're going to get more length in the floor in the sedan version, and that's what works well for Teddy. So I'm going to take Teddy out of here because he may end up going home with... Actually, we should, now that we've mentioned sort of who this is, remember we had Paige in the video the other day? We were talking about this Kia Sportage SX. Paige's parents bought this. So Paige was in the video. She was replaced Teddy. And so there you go. While I'm doing a video, we were selling the car. Real quick, I didn't have this in there earlier. If you want to follow us, see what we're doing every day live on Instagram or live on YouTube, you can follow me on Instagram. So that's how to follow me there. Give a like if you think that's a good idea that we post everything on Instagram first. The other benefit is if you're interested in a car that we're posting, you can ask me about it on Instagram, or you can also you can ask me a question that you will make sure I have answered. So let's know if it has parking sensors. It does not. I don't think you need it in this car with the clear backup camera. We're going to show that in a second. We'll take a look at the outside a little bit in more detail in a second. Let's just go inside, start at the driver's seat here. And again, I touch that button to unlock all the doors. Right here. Okay, we're hopping in. So here's what I love about this car. Again, in this car, with the last Forte 5 we showed you was not the limited model. This one here has something right there. Oh yeah, so some of my American friends are now joking. I always tell them the Canadian cars are better equipped. The American Forte GT is better equipped. You have the option of getting a manual transmission. You have the parking sensors. You might even have fog lights that we don't have. In Canada, we do have the Forte 5, which sort of makes up for some of that, but we're gonna show you a lot about this car. Okay, first of all, tilt telescopic steering wheel. It goes in, out, up, down. It is a D-cut steering wheel, so it comes down there. This one does not have the ventilated seats in it. You can get that in the Forte 5 GT, I believe. Red piping looks excellent. It does, and it's carried through on the gear shift. It's carried through on the steering wheel as well, that stitching. So that red accent is kind of a cool accent. You'll see in the dash here, a couple things I want to point out. We did go get this car from another dealer, so most of those 134 kilometers on this car, they're just driven by us today, literally today, just a couple hours ago. 5.5 liters per 100 kilometers is what we have as fuel mileage. So when I say that this is a performance car that gets great fuel efficiency, 5.5 liters per 100 kilometers is not what this car is rated to get. But there's an example, again, of how, especially in this car and some of our other cars, we can really exceed those fuel economy numbers. And we did that in smart mode. You're going to see smart mode. We're going to talk about transmission modes in a second. That's where we have a real good advantage. So smart mode is our drive mode. So we hit the drive mode down here. Drive modes in this car: normal, sport, and smart. No eco mode, but that smart mode is excellent in this car. A lot of fun. All right, trimming up at the very top, 8-inch screen. Same thing as the Kia Stinger. Exactly, literally, same screen. So looks even the same, it kind of comes out of the dash, so very similar Stinger type look. Speaking of Stinger type look, the Forte has little imitation Stinger vents over there that look a lot like the Stinger. And boy, is it hot in here. I have no way to turn the air conditioning on in this car. Anyways, I can turn it on, but the car is off because I'm gonna gas Kevin out. All right, dual zone climate control is kind of a nice feature. You can set different sides. There's a lot of glare on the video here. Let me turn the fan down here. A lot of glare on the video, just where it's aiming at. I don't see that glare from the driver's seat. I don't know if it's, yeah, you can sort of see there. I see no glare from here. As I go to show you closer, you'll see more glare. Everything this dash is angled, and actually one of the reasons these screens pop out of here is because you're able to have a little bit lower dash and angle the screen on the right angle to have no glare, as well as keep it out of there. So some people want to know why not just us, but a lot of manufacturers do this raised screen that's not built into the dash. It's just in these cars where you can keep a little bit lower dash and just have the screen pop up. It just looks better and works better. So that's why the screen's there. Let's talk about the radio for a second. So here we go. There's all we need to know. Sirius XM. You buy a car with Sirius XM from us, you get 3 months of free satellite radio. Harman Kardon sound system. In the sedan, you can get a Harman Kardon sound system. You cannot get that in the Forte 5, which I think the Forte 5 should add. You also have, of course, HD radio, Bluetooth, lots of things going on there. Right now, I will show you, right now I will show you, you can get satellite radio for free right now. We'll see if this works. It may not work inside here, yeah. HD weather radio, Doppler radar. This may not work just because the building I'm in right now, hey, it does work. There's the Doppler radar in the area. Does your car do this? Our cars do. As you can see, it's a crystal clear day. There's no radar or anything at all that we have to worry about, but you can see there's live traffic data. We can go through that as well. So very cool system. Yeah, some of our regulars who have Kias are saying, hey, my car does this. Very cool system, and that of course works right now. You know, even inside the building here, a lot of cool systems to check various things. Sports, stocks, of course, that one's kind of useless right now given the COVID stuff. But yeah, very cool thing that not a lot of people know about, and I think that's just kind of fun. Scrolling down a little further, wireless charge pad right here. Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, you can plug it in right there. There's an extra USB port on the one side and a 12-volt port on this side. So still got a space to put your stuff. Heated steering, heated steering wheel, rump roasters, heated seats. We don't need those on today. No ventilated seats in this car. And when you throw this in drive and you drop it this way, you enter sport mode automatically. So just back and forth, if you want to have that manual tactile kind of feel, that is sport mode, including I can hit the sport mode by the driver's seat. So that gives you that kind of manual feel. You can just leave it like this. It will shift on its own at keeping the car in its revs. So it will stay higher in the revs. But if you at any point want to shift it, you can tap that up or tap that down. It's a dual clutch instant shifting transmission. If you don't want to do that, you want to use the paddle shifters, there you go. You can use the paddle shifters as well. So option to do that, up, down, left side down, right side up. We'll talk about the steering wheel controls in 1 second. So that's kind of a cool thing. I mentioned no parking sensors. There's Teddy in the back there. You can almost see every fur on him the way I'm looking at him. You know, nice and clear. You can see the lines in the you can see our dirty floor as well. Oh, who's in charge of cleaning the floor? Tim. Just kidding, it's Pat. Anyways, you can see all that clear backup camera. So I don't really think you need parking sensors in this car, but you know, it doesn't hurt to have them sometimes. Coming along the dash here, what's very cool, I don't know if I can show you it. Yeah, I can, perfect. See the blue line on that GT logo? That is lighting, that's ambient lighting. So that can be changed to multiple different colors. It looks super cool at night, very hard to see in the daylight. You also have some ambient lighting through there on the door. Oh, you can sort of see it as well there. The video is actually doing a little bit better job picking it up. I'm still in a pretty bright room, so it's hard to see. We're gonna talk about some of the features in a second. Red stitching on the door, soft touch on the armrest, soft touch in the center armrest. True sport style seats, they say GT there. Very comfortable, and again, this is not real leather. This is an artificial leather that Kia uses. I like it much better than real leather. It has some grip. So when you're driving, it feels nice to the hands, but it has a little bit of grip. So when you're driving sort of athletically, you are well gripped in these seats. Okay, shows the GT trim has parking sensors. Okay, so the GT trim, they say it has, maybe not this particular model. I'm not sure what Kia Canada says it has that. It does not right now. So sometimes our website's inaccurate. If it is inaccurate, are you sure it's not the Forte 5 you're looking at? Forte 5 and Forte are different. This car definitely does not. All right, cruise control, here we go. You have smart cruise control with stop and go. What does that mean? Well, you can set the cruise to whatever speed you want. The car will keep its distance from people, including in stop and go traffic. So, Leroy's telling me the Canada website has stuff. Well, we'll have to check that out. Maybe it's incorrect. Over here, you've got Bluetooth controls. You've got the automatic headlights there. They are LED headlights. They turn on automatically. Blind spot detection right there. So that's right here. Lane keep assist, of course. So there's blind spot detection. Now, one thing about lane keep assist. I am a huge fan of lane keep assist. Today, Pat and I were driving together. Somebody came across into our line and into our lane because they didn't have lane keep assist, and they almost hit us. Kind of woke Pat and I up a little bit. Lane keep assist keeps you safe. On this particular car, to drive sporty, if you're going down an S-turning road, turn lane keep assist off. It's trying to keep you centered in the lane a little bit more than you'd like, and sometimes you want to just hug the corners. Other than when you're driving sporty, leave lane keep assist off. One of our customers just asked us, does it have automatic high beams? Yes, it does. So on these LED cars, automatic high beams, you can still flash them on and keep them on, but oops, trying to turn them off there. There we go. So headlights, automatic high beams, we'll show you them in a second. They're the same beam on this car, which is kind of a cool thing compared to some of our competitors. Let's turn those headlights fully on. We're gonna hop out, show you the lighting, show you some styling, and I gotta get to your questions. I know we're already 20 minutes in. All right, real quick. Hard to see here, but those X patterns are LED lights. They may flicker as I go across here. No, they're good. There is your high beam. You can see how quickly, or your regular low beam, you can see how quickly that got bright. That is that sharp cutoff. And it's the same bulb for high and low beam on this, which is kind of a cool way to sort of make it a little bit compact there. Without the headlight on, it kind of looks like a Porsche from a distance because you see 1, 2, 3, 4 around the headlight, 4 LEDs around the headlight. Looks kind of Porsche-esque. There's your GT. Of course, the GTs have that red sort of tooth look. I don't know. It looks like it's kind of just like a fire kind of look to it. It looks very cool, looks very aggressive, but it's kind of subtle still. You got to see it just to get up close. Signal lights are down there, right there, the piano black. And we'll come across here. I showed you the wheels already. Anything that has a little bit of sporting intentions with Kia has the red center caps. As I come to the back side, I want to talk about this for a second. The regular Forte has a twist beam suspension, I believe they call it, basically a beam across. This is independent suspension in the rear. They don't do that just because it's fun. They do it because it actually makes the car handle better. And because of that, we can also reroute the dual exhaust back through there in a different way with nice thick piping the whole way through to get a good airflow through. So it's not just the engine we've used before, it's an engine with a little bit better air flow through the engine. So these dual exhausts, they actually have a real cool sound. And actually Kevin here, who always has some help for me, he mentioned as the car came in, he goes, well, that sounds really nice. And it really does. It's not super loud, but it does have a true bassier sound that is a proper sound. There is a sound generator in this car that enhances the sound on the inside, basically because cars are, so this is really funny. On Instagram right now, the owner of this car just asked me on my Instagram picture if this is her car. Obviously, she's not watching her video. Maybe her son will be watching the video. Anyways, this is your car, Rebecca. Anyways, the sound here is really cool. There is a sound generator, which almost every sports type car is doing. The reason they make those sound generators is because the cars are really well sound insulated, and it takes some of that bass out of the cabin noise. So you can use that subwoofer and the audio system to just bring that bass back. It's not a real fake sound at all. It's a genuine sound, but when you hear that sound generator, you think it's all fake. It's really not. The outside of this car, the car sounds great. Check out the lights back here too. LED lighting looks really, really sharp. So yeah, when you guys, Leroy just said the GT model sounds great. One of my favorite cars. I happen to prefer the hatchback just because of my lifestyle. That works a little better for me. I wish it had the shark fin antenna with the Harman Kardon audio system in that car, but they don't have a place to mount the subwoofer, which is, I believe, why they do that. Just a couple little differences, and same thing with the ventilated seats. You can get those ventilated seats for sure in the Forte 5 GT. Does it have Michelin tires? I don't think so. I think these are Kumos. Yeah, these are Kumo tires. Very good grippy tires though. All right, you were asking, what were you asking in the past? Somebody asked something, I missed it. Let me go back to my thing. Auto high beam we covered. Oh, parking sensors. Yeah, definitely no parking sensors in the back here. If Kia Canada's website says that, I will go check that out later and send them a note because they do not come on this particular car. So somebody asked the price early on, $28,995. I always give MSRP, so that's as a comparative price to what I do. There you go out the door, basically 31. And there's some of the things. You do get UVO intelligence in this car as well. It's a Canadian specific thing compared to some of you Americans. You can tell because you have little buttons right there, the SOS, navigation, and tow truck, but you also, the big thing is you get an app, and the app controls the ability to start the car, change the temperature in the car. In many cases, you can turn on the heated steering wheel. This one with the auto climate control, you can set the climate control to whatever temperature you want, and that's all done from your phone with that auto start system. That's free for 3 years, so that's kind of cool system. Of course, you have Android Auto and Apple CarPlay since we're talking about those things. All right, I'm going to jump to the questions. If anything I've said or if anything you've seen is interesting to you, do me a favor, hit the like button there. That just helps us out. That would be great, because I know we got a bunch of people on right now. All right, I'm going to jump in and see what comments we've got. I know I missed a few of yours. Somebody purchased a Forte 5 EX or Forte EX Premium last week, thanks to my videos. So somebody, so H. Shaw, you bought a Forte EX Premium. I want to thank you for buying one. I think your dealer owes me a referral fee. I'm just going to throw that out there. It's Peter at Brantford Kia. Trust me, it'll get to me. Don't worry. All right, we got there. Tim probably stopped watching by now. He's still angry that I got the car that's still dirty in here. Red piping looks great. You guys don't have, oh yeah, you Americans don't have the heated steering wheels. I don't know why they don't do that. That's silly. Okay, metal pedals, yes. Albert pointed out metal pedals. I'll show you that in a second. What else we got? The EX model has ventilated seats and states, okay. How old is lane keeping assist system? How old is the lane? Because, okay, so lane keep assist and lane follow assist are two different things. This car has lane keeping assist. I don't believe it has lane follow assist yet. Still an excellent system, still keeps you in the lane, but not quite as advanced as, say, the Seltos lane follow assist or the Kia Soul's lane follow assist. Like I said, lane keeping assist is really good on this car because you tend to get distracted by the center screen when you start to use it. That's my feeling, is when you start touching that center screen in the center there, you can look away from the screen, and that can be an issue. That being said, lane keep will keep you centered in the lane. That's why I think it's good. If you're driving athletically, that's the only time I would say turn it off. If you're going down twisty roads, you want to steer everything yourself. If you're just going down regular roads, it's nice to have that assistance. You barely feel it on a normal road, but you will feel it on a sporty road. So that's my take on lane keep. Auto high beam, yes, we talked about that. Kia Canada configurator doesn't look, yeah, Kia Canada's website could still always be improved. It's pretty good, but it's not the best. Remote climate is nice. Yes, we talked about that. You guys want to know if I'm excited about the K5? I will talk about that after the 30-minute mark. Promotions on this model. Yeah, good point. Albert, so in May, we had 6 months of no payments on a bunch of our cars. They told us for sure it will not last till June. They told us we could tell our customers that, and we did. And then we begged them to keep it, and they kept it into June. Now we still have 6 months of no payments on Forte and on Sorento. Now, to be fair, I have not had time to read through the fine print of that. I know our sales team has read that, but we still have, at least on some Fortes, 0%, or sorry, we have 6 months of Kia making your payments right now. That's all due to this COVID stuff. That is on the Forte and the Sorento, if I am correct. There is new 0% financing for 84 months on things like the Stinger and the Soul and a couple other cars. So the Stinger and Soul were added right now. I haven't gone fully through all of those. So make sure if you're interested in buying a car, we've said this all last month, there has literally never been a better time to buy a car. We had a record June in part because of those deals, and hopefully in part because of some of what we're doing here. But yeah, 6 months. So in the US, it's only 3 months, which is 90 days. Yeah, we have 6 months of not deferred payments, Kia making your payments on several vehicles. And the Forte, I'm positive, is included in that. But again, for all of those sale details, contact our sales team. They read the fine print and they can be accurate for you. Like I said, today was a little bit of a crazy day and I haven't gone through all of the fine print yet, but you will have better deals than you've ever had from Kia on just about everything we have here. So that's important there. All right, is there anybody who wants, who has any questions about this car? I don't mind going off topic at around the 30-minute mark, but we still got about a minute before we hit that. If you haven't hit the like button, do me a favor, do that. And if you have any questions about this car, we'll continue to show you. This is going to be the last time I have this car here for a while. We're not going to stock one of these immediately anyways. So this is the time to ask because this car is going to go away to a customer very soon. So yeah, we've got a few Nero owners on there. All right, somebody asked me about the K5. Here's the thing about the K5. It's been introduced in the States as the K5. I don't know that Canada has officially said a word about it yet. I know some of you were a little disappointed in the American launch because a couple of the Korean features did not make it to the American car. I believe that larger screen, some other things. I am I'm always a big fan of Kia loading up their Canadian cars. They do a pretty good job, but I have no information on the Canadian K5. The only thing I've been told officially is there's an optimal replacement coming, probably September-ish, which is only about a month and a half, 2 months away. But I don't know for sure what that car is. Obviously, it's going to be like it is going to be the K5. We've been told the Optima name will be no longer. They haven't told us the name. Of course, it's going to be K5. But as far as you asking me about the K5, what I saw on the American one, it looks amazing. I quite like the look of it. I really am excited about the GT model. I'm actually excited about the regular models too with that 1.6. It's going to have the same engine as in this car. 1.6 liter. They downrate the horsepower a little bit, probably for fuel efficiency. But yeah, I'm really excited about that car. I'm excited about the GT model of that car. I'm excited about all-wheel drive in that car because in the Canadian market, I think that's going to help it sell. Looks amazing, but I don't know what the Canadian car looks like. So as I find that information out, of course, we're going to do a video about that. We've been doing a lot of these live videos during COVID. I do intend to get back to doing shorter, more edited videos so that you guys can get the information you need without having to listen to me for half an hour straight. But I think the live one we're going to keep just because it does allow us to interact a little bit like this. So that's where we're headed. And I think that may be where we leave it. So I think you guys are talking about the K5 right now. If anybody's has any questions about this car, I'll talk to you about it right now. You guys are going K5, and that's fine. I totally understand. All right, like I said, as I have information about that car in Canada, I will be the first to let you know, as long as you don't tune into anybody else before you tune into me. And then I can be the first. Yeah, the Canadian model, I'm expecting good things, but I don't know. We'll see how that works with the Americans and Canadians. You guys are all sad. Why are you all sad? Don't worry. Don't worry what it's going to be on that car. It'll be good. It'll be very good. All right. I think we're going to leave it there, guys. Again, I talked about this car in the past as one of my favorite Kias, and this is very much one of my favorite Kias. Throw a hatchback on this car, throw a few of the options in, you got probably a perfect economy car. It's going to be fun to drive and economical. Great, great car. And yeah, Wade and Rebecca. Wade asked me on Instagram. She's probably not watching, but she asked me on Instagram if this was her car. This is absolutely your car. It looks great. It'll look way better when you see it because I haven't even cleaned it yet. So this has been fun. And again, if I've earned your subscription, that'd be great. We do have a PHEV Nero. I'm hoping to have it tomorrow. I got an email about it just before I went live, and I haven't read that email yet. So if we have that car here tomorrow, we're going to do that one tomorrow, which is an exciting car as well. Really good value car. I am applying soon for dealership awards for a top EV dealer. So if you guys have any way to pull that way, I'd like to try to win that award. So part of that's through these videos. But we're going to apply for that this month because might as well throw it out there. You have to apply for these awards and then they decide if we win. So we're definitely going to focus on EVs and PHEVs because we always have been. We've tried to be a leader there. That's the news of what's going on at Brantford Kia. So thanks everybody for watching. We will talk to you again tomorrow, and then I'm heading into a weekend where I'm going camping. So we'll see you then.